Hi, this is Rachelle with Vibrancy, and today I had an awesome opportunity to interview Dylan James and just talk to him about how doing that emotion work has really shifted the quality of relationships in his life. Oh, hi, this is Rachelle with Vibrancy, and today I have the pleasure of talking to Dylan James again.
Hello.
And today I'm going to have Dylan talk about the emotion work that he's done and just really understanding manifesting and how that works is has um, made has changed how he is in a relationship and how that has kind of changed how his partner shows up.
Yes, and I love this topic because it's something that, once we figure it out, we can actually step into the relationship that we deserve a lot more easily, right?
Absolutely.
It's all self-maintenance. So are there any kind of specific questions that you want to start me off with?
Yeah. Can you kind of tell us about what were like describe how you were in previous relationships.
Okay. So I've made every single mistake. I can't tell you, like, I've had really ugly parts of myself come out in relationships in terms of neediness, desperation, grasping, breaching of privacy, like looking at Facebook, going into my partner's phone, like so bad, like really, really low self-confidence manifesting, like behaviors manifesting. And then not only that, um, through the progression of my relationships, if I really think about it, my very first relationship, the person that I was with, I was a complete secret. So I met it like my first experience of a relationship, like it was in high school. So they would like I would be out in my car and they would be in the house with their friends and would not even come out to say hi to me, but they would knew I was there. So I just felt completely isolated and alone. And it was a complete reflection of my base programming that I felt growing up. Obviously, looking back now, I can see that. And then the relationship after that, I had been working consciously on, establishing gratitude. And as I've said, like I've been consciously manifesting for a long time, but I was doing things even before I was conscious to shift myself. So it's like I almost already knew. And I remember like if I would want to change a habit, for instance, I would smoke cigarettes when I was younger and I wanted to stop, I would start affirming in, I'm not smoking, I'm not smoking, I'm not smoking, I'm not smoking until the feeling would dissolve. And then it would go like I would manifest that behavior away. But I had no idea that that was a thing, like changing my thoughts. I just kind of intuitively knew to do these things. So as after my first relationship, that was horrible. I did a lot of healing, a lot of crying. That sent me into a downward spiral. The second relationship that I was in, I had started working on trust. I had done some healing. So I attracted in somebody that was like wanted to be with me. And it was a journey to get them to like say I was their boyfriend, but the relationship was slightly better. It still wasn't there, but it was slightly better. Okay. And then I learned from that one too. I had a few other relationships. I'm not going to go into every single relationship that I had because that would be forever. But over the process of going through these experiences, I would emotionally heal. So I would go through these experiences and then afterwards I would be a complete mess and I would cry and I would honor the emotion and then I would feel a shift. And then the moment that I would honor the emotion, feel the shift, my reality would start to change. New opportunities would show up. And I started to really see how things were manifesting based on every time that I cleared the emotion that I was holding on to, or I would go through an experience where clearly I didn't know my worth. Clearly, I didn't respect myself. And I almost got to a point where I was like, I'm so over this. I deserve love. I deserve respect, right? And it's like through this progression of one relationship to another, and also understanding now how consciousness works, that I have kind of really removed the limitations and the traumas that I had growing up, these suppressed emotions, and came in and put in new beliefs. Now the cool thing is, I like in my relationship now with my boyfriend, he's shifting on a day-to-day basis. It's just so much fun to see him can like just show up more and more understanding, like he's manifesting things like and it just makes me laugh, and he's really grasping it more and more too. And with the shifts that I've made in myself, I don't need him to feel love. And I think that's the biggest thing is somewhere in my journey, I had that switch of I'm tired of kind of being treated like crap.
Yeah.
But then I recognize the only reason why I'm being like crap is being treated this way is because I feel at some level I deserve this. I have beliefs that I deserve this. And I also have emotions within me that I haven't dealt with that keep drawing these types of people into my life. And the relationship before the boyfriend that I was with now, it's funny because I remember thinking like Ariana Grande, she has a song, Thank You Next. And she's like, this boyfriend taught me this boyfriend taught me this, and then this one taught me love. And that previous relationship, I literally told my boyfriend before I broke up with him, you taught me love. And he did. And it was from that relationship that I fully stepped into really feeling love as not something outside of me, as something that I could just tap into at every single moment. And the moment that I was able to just maintain that feeling,
Hmm.
these all of these circumstances dissolve. So with my boyfriend now, anything that he does, I see him with love and I see like what's going on and I just can see that it has to do with like something in his belief system and I'm helping to bring awareness to that and shift it really quickly.
Yeah.
And it's so cute because it's just like every day he shows up more and more loving. Like I said, we talked about it like a Keurig the other day. And yesterday he went out of his way to just go buy a Keurig on the way home for me to surprise me. Like he just shows up more and more sweet and more loving because it's not that I need it from him. And then the other cool thing is that he's seeing everything manifest for him too. So anything that he's talking about, like people are just coming up to his reality and giving it to him. So that's been my progression, is to really, it was a very painful process. When
Yeah.
you don't understand how these things work, it can be very painful. And it took me a long time to really figure out how it works. And so that's why I love that we're on here talking about this because it doesn't have to be really painful.
No, it
Like
really
once you figure it out, like if you just have a misunderstanding, then you kind of stay stuck in dwelling and feeling victimized and not really understanding what's going on, right?
yeah, absolutely. And I like the way that you describe it because I would say very much I relate to all of those things, only I did it in one relationship. So whenever I see something I don't like, when I step out of that, when I get over myself, I can kind of take a look from the outside and, like you said, really see what's going on. So I love that you said that.
Yeah. So I had a belief growing up from observing my father that when things go bad, you're not able to fix it. Okay. So I had like almost a burning bridges belief. So
Okay.
like if it was ending ugly and I was like putting a stake in it so that you would never come back in my life. And so it's funny now because pretty much all of my exes have come back and they like say thank you for what they learned from the relationship and they wish me good or they even ask me out on a date and I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. Like, if I wanted that opportunity, great, yeah, I could manifest it. And that's why I say in my content too, like if you want to get with somebody that you've been in a relationship before, great. For me on my journey, I kind of just looked at those people as lessons
Yeah.
and I still have love for them and I still check up on them to be honest and see like I hope you're doing good. Like thank you for what you taught me. And if I wanted to get back with one of them, I would. But for me personally, it did take me a few failed relationships and a lot of mistakes to finally get it,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, I agree. You don't necessarily have to do it with one person. You can, as long as you're kind of seeing those lessons and you're moving that emotion and recognizing like all the negativity that that
Well, the
we
great thing
can handle.
is you can do it with one person.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
had I known before, I probably would have done it. But like I had, you
What
know,
you got now?
yeah, I love what I have now, right? And I'm so grateful. But it is really all about recognizing that nothing is outside of you.
No, absolutely. I mean, love that you get from outside of you, it's temporary and you have no control over it. But love that you source right from within you, it's available all the time. And it feels friggin' amazing.
And it's makes you really powerful. So when I try and talk about this too, about other things on my channel, so like money being in your life isn't what makes you feel rich,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
Having a career is not what makes you feel successful. Having your person there is not what makes you feel love. it's this idea, and I think, as we're raised, it's just how our brain associates itself with reality. We observe and we think our observations are making us feel something.
Hmm.
And then we get stuck in that loop of like, I'm not feeling good, but I'm not conscious that I'm not feeling good because I think what happens is you get so used to your state of being,
Yep,
you know, that you don't really see how sad or upset you're actually feeling. It's become your normal. And
absolutely.
then because you're unaware of it, then a circumstance pops up and you're like, you're making me feel this way. And it's
Yeah,
like, no, no, actually, what's been going on is you're feeling this way. And because you're feeling this way, you're thinking that these circumstances are manifesting and making you feel this. It's when you raise your state into, oh, I can actually choose to feel love right now. I can actually choose to feel abundant right now. I can choose to feel good. And in fact, when I choose to feel this way, everything changes.
yeah, absolutely. And as you level up, you really start to be more aware of if you dip down into those lower places. And they're like, no.
Yes. And so I had a client message me today, and she did this beautiful exercise. I was so proud of her. It was just so beautiful to watch, but or read. And she sent me a picture of like a piece of paper she wrote, but she was kind of wobbling in her state of being,
Yeah.
and she's going out of town, and she's like, I'm getting thoughts where I feel like I can't trust this person, or like if I leave, then they're going to do something, and it's going to be easier for them to hide it. And I just told her, I was like, what is the belief that's manifesting this? The
Hmm.
belief that's manifesting this is I'm not trusting. Because you're not trusting, you're manifesting these thoughts. It's causing your state of being to wobble. You're getting a little bit anxious. And I was like, so we need to pick 3 affirmations
Yeah.
that directly um, correlate with this belief. And it's simple because once you figure out what the belief is, you just close your eyes for like 5 minutes and just go over these affirmations for a second. And then you'll feel the shift. And literally, it's like when you feel that shift, you look at the circumstance and you have just a completely different perception of it.
Yes,
it
absolutely.
it becomes completely powerless and you're like, wait, I don't care, whatever, and you move on, and
Yeah.
then it literally doesn't manifest. Like, it's just, you're able to do that though, because once you start ascending into a higher state of being, anytime you get that wobble, it's so evident, and so you're able to bring your awareness to it very quickly, and at the same time also shift it very quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I know that I tend to do things very body based. So I will choose my perception based on, well, if this was real for me, how would that feel? Okay, how do I feel now? And then I kind of move myself around until I'm like, nope, this is what it feels like to have that thing. And then I just practice into that. And
I find the fastest way to shift my state of being is through music.
yes.
Music is amazing. So
uh,
music and what a lot of artists do, they are aware of manifesting.
yeah.
So they're literally singing to you how to get into their state of being.
Yeah.
And so I just like Ariana Grande, I think she's absolutely amazing at manifesting. And she just like her songs, like I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it, I want it, I got it. That repetition is like getting deep into your subconscious, and then the music makes you feel good. And that's all it is. You just have to feel into it, right?
Absolutely. I mean, you can't really put in a new belief if you're feeling those old, like crappy feelings. So that
Yeah.
music raises you up, and yeah, it's
It's
awesome.
definitely a two-part process, right? And I think that's, uh, a lot of people say it's a limiting belief that you have to feel it to receive it. And it's like, I have to disagree because
Yeah,
you're literally instantly creating based on whatever you're feeling. And
yeah,
it's like you said, it's going to be really hard to get into that feeling state if you have the limiting beliefs, but it's also going to be a little bit of a challenge to change the limiting beliefs if you're not feeling good. So, my kind of loophole for that has been to listen to affirmations while you're sleeping, because
okay.
your subconscious is wide open, and like you'll just wake up and these beliefs are there and you're feeling better, so it's easier to deal with those wobble states.
Yeah, absolutely. And I like that. I think that probably sets your energy and your like state right in the morning, so you kind of set yourself up for the day.
Yeah, and honestly, through consistently doing it, even with myself, I don't even have to set an alarm. Like, I'm waking up and I'm jumping out of bed. Like, I'm excited. Like, I
Yeah,
feel so good. And that's where you can see, like, okay, what I'm doing is working, because you're going to be waking up every day. Like, what am I going to create today? Like, there's so many possibilities. How is this going to unfold? And it becomes very fun.
yeah. I think it's evident in you.
Yeah.
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 All right. Well, do you have something maybe that you want to say, kind of like as a, I guess, a piece of leaving advice?
Piece of leaving advice. The biggest thing is you have to be gentle with yourself. I know I talk about this on my channel a lot, but the beliefs that you hold and whatever you're feeling right now is instantly manifesting, right? So if you have these subconscious beliefs, you how it is you really can't control those thoughts. And that's why it's so distressing for a lot of people because they know like, oh, if I keep thinking this way, or if I keep feeling this way, I'm going to keep on getting the results. And they conceptually understand that. And so they try and shift the thoughts, which I get. But if the way you're shifting the thoughts doesn't actually get to the belief, then that belief is just going to manifest other thoughts or other circumstances. So it can be kind of a frustrating process. It can be a difficult process if you don't know how to approach it. And if you're also afraid of what you're feeling at the moment. So if you're not feeling good and you're trying to fight that feeling, that's also going to make it a lot harder. So a huge part of this process is first accepting where you are, right? So if I'm not feeling good, I can be okay with that. Doesn't mean it's going to stay this way. I'm not going to dwell on it, but it's where I am. And then looking at your thoughts and having that unconditional love of understanding that this is going to change. These thoughts are going to stop the moment that I really get these new beliefs in place. So instead of trying to fight the thoughts or be fearful of them, I'm gonna view it as like a child that doesn't know any better,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm still gonna love myself. I'm still gonna like just be forgiving and unconditional with myself and know that's gonna change. And I think that's what makes the process a lot quicker
Yes.
because when you don't put that pressure on yourself and when you're gentle with yourself, you can actually create the change. So my biggest word of advice is to be gentle with yourself, to accept where you are, and it's through that gentle acceptance and kind of listening to affirmations while you're sleeping and working on those beliefs daily and being aware of those wobble moments and shifting them that eventually that's going to stick.
Yeah.
Eventually those new beliefs are going to stick. Eventually you're going to really conceptualize the understanding that I can choose what I'm feeling. And the moment that happens, like that's where you become limitless. But if you're not there yet, just know that you're going to get there and just be gentle with where you are right now.
Amazing.
Yeah. Right.
Love that.
I love it too. We got to help each other out, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So,
Awesome.
yeah, I'm really happy that you were willing to talk to me about this because I think that this is really a really important thing for people to understand is that it's not really just about like repeating a bunch of things over and over again. There's more to it.
You have to know why.
Yeah.
That's one thing that I do with a lot of clients is I will go over their history and it is just absolutely amazing how precisely we manifest our patterns. Like I had one client that said when she was growing up, one of her friends in high school, she was blonde and the friend would sleep with all of her boyfriends. And so she formed a belief that women are going to steal her man. And in every single relationship she's had, a blonde woman has shown up trying to steal her man.
Well, I can say that I definitely like repeated my mother's life until I recognized what was going on, like step by step by step. And I was like, huh, I'm not going to say that this is a good thing.
Yeah. And so it's amazing that once you look at these things and you understand what's going on and you understand why you're affirming in the new beliefs, that's where it really clicks. And I think that's where coaching is really useful because you're absolutely right. Like sometimes I even know in my past, I would affirm things and not fully understand why I was affirming them.
Yeah.
Once you consciously understand and it makes logical sense to you, and you see why you're doing what you're doing and why you need to do it,
Mhm.
that's where it also makes it a lot more easy too. Because a lot of people are just picking up on all these different teachings and reading all these different books, but they're not able to fully connect the dots. And
Yeah,
it's like you have that light bulb moment and you understand, and then it grows from there. You gain more and more momentum.
absolutely. Awareness is really powerful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Well, this was so much fun.
yeah, thank you.
Of
And
course.
yeah, hopefully we'll do this again.
Definitely. I'm so open to doing collaborations anytime. Like with my channel, I want to use it kind of as a space where we can all grow together. like for money, I've really gotten that in and clients and stuff like that. Like we're here to share. And if you can help, if somebody resonates with you more or whatever it may be, like let's do it. Let's help as many people as possible, right? So please, I would love to collab with you again anytime soon and just let me know, okay?
Yeah, definitely. I love what I see you doing on your channel.
Thank you.
All
Alrighty.
right. Well, thanks.
Yeah.
And if you want more Dylan, because who wouldn't, I've put the link to his channel in the details. And we will definitely be doing more of this in the future. It was super fun.